Good morning, Mets fans, and happy Monday. It is the start of a new week, and this Monday is particularly special because for those of you in the path of totality, there will be an eclipse today, and very much like an eclipse where the sun is blocked out, the Mets season has been eclipsed by this horrendous turn of events, and the most recent piece of sad news is Curtis Granderson being dealt to the Dodgers for, at the time, which was a player to be named later, but that player has now been named. But now we have one less veteran on the team and one more young player in his place for the remaining 40 games of the season. So to complete the deal for Curtis Granderson, the Dodgers ended up sending the Mets Jacob Rame, or Haim, or whatever, however you pronounce it. Another young relief pitching prospect from the Dodgers. I can't complain about what the Mets are getting back because we just don't know anything about these kids, and that's really what they are. They're low level, AA at best prospects. Excuse me. And these guys could all pan out or they could all not pan out. And so it's impossible to judge whether these were good trades or bad trades now because we just don't know. We just don't know whether they were good or bad trades. But at the end of the day, for me, it just sucks to lose these guys who, I at least, again, for me, I've come to really enjoy a lot of these personalities that the Mets have dealt away. This is different than what happened after the 2006, 2007, 2008 seasons. This is very different than that because in none of those years where, especially 07 and 08, where the Mets were supposed to compete and then didn't, and of course they didn't fall apart like they did this year in either of those seasons. They failed in a much more spectacular fashion, as we all remember. But I don't remember a time where I felt so connected to the team and then they decided to just sell it all off. Like 2009, 2010, 2011. I mean, those were shitty teams. I mean, they were not good teams. But we didn't have to deal with this full-blown sell-off. And I know it's not we're giving up, we're going to rebuild for the next 10 years. At least that's not what they're saying. But it hurts. It hurts to deal with this, and I just hope that it doesn't have to happen again anytime soon, because I really felt a connection to a lot of these players, particularly Curtis Granderson, who I've made no mistake about it, and made no bones about it. I wanted Granderson back next year as a fourth outfielder. I felt like his presence in the clubhouse would have been a huge load, a huge burden off the shoulders of Michael Conforto, who is going to be heading into next season, absent David Wright again, of course, as the veteran on this team, and he's been playing for all of a year and a half, not even, if you consider the amount of time he spent in the minor leagues last year. It's too much for a kid like Conforto to be the veteran leadership in the clubhouse, and that's where I thought a guy like Granderson would have been fantastic in that role. So anyway, Curtis gets traded to the Dodgers. It makes it hard for me because I really like Granderson so much, and up to this point, I honestly was kind of pulling for the Dodgers almost like quietly. I don't really hate them except for Chase Utley, of course. And look, the Dodgers are due. I mean, they've been to the playoffs and bounced out of the playoffs a lot in the last several years. The Dodgers are due, and although they're coming down to earth a little bit of late, I think they lost 2 games in the last week, which is unheard of. I'm kind of rooting for the Dodgers, and now that they have Granderson, I really am. And it works out pretty well for me because I'm going to be driving out to Western Pennsylvania today, and I'll be in the vicinity tomorrow to go see the Dodgers at the Pirates. So I'll be able to see, hopefully, Granderson at least get a pinch hit, if not get a starting role in the outfield somewhere for the Dodgers. So as far as this past weekend in Metsville, the Mets dropped 2 out of 3 to the Miami Marlins, who are only 2 games under 500 at this point, which is nuts considering the Mets are 14 games under 500. And story of the season, I guess, whatever. It doesn't suck any less, though, so there's that. But the real story behind it was that for the second consecutive weekend, Rafael Montero outpitched Jacob deGrom. And it's weird to see. It's weird to see Montero very slowly improve and quietly make a case for himself to be considered as someone who should be in the rotation next year. And it hurts for me to say that because I'm not a fan, but he's pitched pretty well. Other than that one blip, I think 2 starts ago or 3 starts ago, where he was sort of back to nibble mode, he's been good of late. And you know, he may be a worthwhile person to consider toward the bottom end of the rotation for next year. I don't know. We'll see. So that's going to wrap it up for today. As I said, I'm going to be on the road for the next couple of days, so I won't have any videos talking about the upcoming Diamondback series, which I'm sure is going to be a delight for the Mets. But I'll be back on Thursday at some point, or perhaps Wednesday afternoon to catch up on whoever's been dealt next. I suspect this Drupal Cabrera may be that man, but we'll see. I'll be back at you guys later this week. Until then, I do appreciate your watching this video. If you're not already doing so, follow me on Twitter at Mr_Met and take place in some Mets trivia, which I'll be posting in a little bit. And as always, let's go Mets.